goes another 20-year-old.
Holy shit, I hate those guys.
Gotta hate 20-year-olds.
Fuck those guys.
Somebody help these 20-year-olds.
It's time to figure it out, Ricky.
Touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
You like the chips? I'm eating.
I don't want you eating chips. Crunching into the mic. No chips.
Last bite. Last bite.
Yeah, no, wouldn't want that all episode. All right, hit me with a little. You can't even talk. You have food in your mouth. That's why no chips. You wouldn't be able to answer. Okay, count me
I'm
in.
gonna sign this show.
Oh, you're gonna sign?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Live from
Hello.
Too Many Jams Studios in the heart of Toronto. You're on Too Many Jams, a show about all things 20-year-old.
With help from friends, experts, and our own personal experiences, we have to shed some light on those things that leave our age group lost and confused.
Something's happened if you're watching the live camera feed. A little treat for you, but I chopped off all my lettuce.
Check it out. And how good does he look? Let's take this hat off too.
Can you see
Look
that?
at this guy.
Ooh,
Just give it a little
don't
shake
do that.
up here.
That didn't work. You really fucked it.
No, you need. I mean, it was.
Was it slick back
got
before?
Some head. It's some hat. Some hat. Some hat head.
I
Going.
got some head hat.
Yeah, head hat. You ever heard
A
of
hat
it?
that gives you a head. Let me tell you.
Oh, I get one of those.
You do have one.
It's called girlfriend.
Always with you like a hat. Gives you head.
Yes. TM.
Okay. No. Got a haircut. Had long hair for the better part of 5 years. Had a year gap in there. Actually, pretty funny story why I cut my hair off. But
Why did you cut your hair?
funny you ask. So if you've had long hair as a guy, girls will obviously get this, but it's a lot of work. Like you wake up every morning with it in your fucking face. You got to wait 10 hours for it to dry. It's always tangled. It's a lot of work. That's why girls complain a lot. After like 2 years, I was getting so fed up with long hair. I'd like wake up in the middle of the night with it like in my mouth and my eyes and shit. And I would just get angry with it. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face hair. It's like, the fuck? Like, I'd be like, I'd
Whoa.
wake up in my face. I'm like, yo, you my fucking face, dog, every morning. And one day I was just gardening for my uncle and my hat kept falling off and I didn't have a hair tie.
Mm-hmm.
And I rage quit. I was gardening, bending over, pulling weeds, hair falling in my
Just
face.
recently?
This was 2 years ago, but a little over 2 years ago.
Oh, that you're talking about the first time you cut up your
First time I cut my hair. And I literally rage quit. I picked up the phone. I called the nearest barber. I drove, got my hair sliced off in a fit of rage, drove back and finished gardening. Immediately regretted it. Instantly grew my hair back out long the next year and a half.
And have you regretted it since?
Well, all I regretted last time is that I didn't cut it properly. Like hairdressers, I'd walk in there and I'm like, hey, this is the haircut I want. And they're like, no, you can't do that. Like basically I had a 1950s bob. Like
I'm Bob.
you're a bob. I had a 1950s U on my head. Like, you know that haircut where women had it, like it's basically like even length all the way around the side.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I wanted that is because I don't ever wear my hair down because I have basically an afro. So I always tie it back samurai style. So I don't need it shaped like a woman's hair, like that has that, flowing down the back like I used to have, which was a pain in the ass. And for like the first 2 years, I'd go into salons and they'd be like, I'm like, hey, can you just do this? And they're like, no, it won't look good. It won't look good. No, you have long hair. You have beautiful long hair. I'm like, you're seeing it wet. Like you don't fucking get it, dude.
Yeah.
It's in my face.
I know. I always go through that same fight with Liv when she's cutting my hair, because I'm like, just give me a 2 around the outside. Like I don't need anything for it to. I forget what she calls it. Like a landing. Like it goes a little bit longer. I'm like, it shapes my head fine with a 2 all the way around. She's like, no, and then I push it, and I'm like, this is a nice haircut. She's like, I agree.
Okay, so Liv is his hairstylist girlfriend. So shout out to all hairstylists for not knowing what we need.
She's also my head hat.
You nasty. But yeah, so finally the second time I grew my hair out, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna get exactly what I wanted, and it was an enjoyable 2 years of long hair, and it was just about time. I always knew
Summertime is here.
Summertime's here. I've always known objectively better looking male with short hair, but I like the long hair because of the rock star vibes.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what the good thing about hair is?
It holds sense for a very long time.
Close.
Oh, is that not it?
It grows back.
Oh, that's
Yes,
it. Okay.
Yes.
No, so objectively better looking with short hair, but the long hair gave me rock star vibes. But then I became a rock star IRL, so it doesn't matter what my fucking hair is. This is a rock star haircut because it's on a fucking rock star. You feel me?
That's all you need. It's just it wasn't the hair that you were looking for the whole time. It was just the personality and the the energy,
the BRE.
You know what's inside.
Big rock star energy.
Yes.
Because the dick thing's a bit of a harder issue to hit, but I can definitely bring the BRE. Let's drink to that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So, in front of us, should we preface this a little bit?
Yeah, well, okay, on the Rockstar topic, we're launching our motherfucking first single in 2 days on Spotify.
Check it out.
Check it out. We have a link in the show notes where you can pre-save it, so it'll just show up to your Spotify when it launches. And a week after it, on Thursday, we're having the music video premiere party, and it's going to be at Reed's Distillery. So let's
speaking of
about
Reed's, yes, Reed's Distillery. A few episodes back, for you loyal listeners, we had Graham Reed on the show, and we actually went to the distillery, and he gave us all the inside scoop on, what's happening at the distillery, what went into putting the place together, and he let us try some of their fantastic home brewed gin.
It was so good, dude. I can't wait to have this. Is this their normal batch, or is this one of the specialty ones they made?
This is the first batch. So I worked there. So for their opening weekend, about a month ago or so, they had a couple events going on, and me and producer Kev, we worked behind the bar for a couple of, I worked the whole weekend. And anyways, at the end of the weekend, I bought one of their bottles because I love it so much. This is batch one.
So yeah, they don't even sponsor us. Robbie bought this because it is so good. They didn't sponsor us because we have a beer sponsor, and I think we're having them on next week on Monday. They finally landed their beer, True History beer. We haven't been able to drink it on the pod yet because it's just been they've had some issues getting it into town. I think it got inspected and stuff when they shipped it in. So next week we'll have that, but I really want to make a shout out to this podcast. First of all, you said loyal Too Many Jams listeners.
Yeah.
We should name them.
Do you have a sort of a running list in your head right now?
No, I have nothing in my head right now.
I mean, I can think of a couple off the top of my head, but
the only one I can think of is
I wouldn't want
Jammers.
to leave anyone out.
Like Kool-Aid Jammers. Because it's Too Many Jams, Jammers. But then we know a guy named Jammer. That's his nickname.
Oh, sorry. To name what to call our loyal listeners.
Yeah. What were you thinking? Like just name people's names?
Yeah, name people's names.
You're
I missed that part. Like who has
like Logan Paulers.
They call him that?
Yeah.
That's so lame.
I know. And it's hilarious. We need a dumber name than that.
Jammers. I like Jammers.
Jammers?
Except we have a buddy named Jammer.
I know, that's the tough balance. Okay, we'll think about it. Cheers.
Yeah, think about it over this quickly.
It doesn't even taste like alcohol. That's insanity.
It's so good. It's so fresh.
Okay, shout out to the podcast because what I wanted to bring up, something that we just realized that's super cool, and I'll list it off here. The song, amazing song. It's fucking fire. We made it last September. We've told about it on previous episodes, how it all came about. But basically, let me list this here. The song was mixed by a friend of ours, Scott Goodwin, who we've had on the podcast.
He was a guest.
Check. The music video was shot by Matt Tompkins, produced by and all that.
Who also is going to be our future beer sponsor, True History Beer. and we're gonna
guest
have
of the podcast.
guest of the podcast, and we're gonna have him on next week again if things
to
all line
preview
up,
all his beers.
to show us all the beer. Yes.
The event at Reed's Distillery, that's where the music video party is happening.
Guest
Podcast guest.
of the podcast. Check.
And let's just talk about that event.
And then we forgot, we missed Eli.
Oh, yeah.
Merch. We're gonna have merch at the event as well. We got a couple cool T-shirts designed up, and
They are made by
who's
Eli.
and sorry, someone's just calling me.
Dude, can get less distracted by phone calls, please. 'Cause you get one about every 10 minutes.
I know it's hard to keep focused, but anyways, yes, the shirts we're gonna be having at the event. Eli has done them because he runs his own company and guest of the podcast.
So this
Boom.
entire music launch was completely friend made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we didn't even really think about that until we just were making some notes before the thing here, and we connected all the dots.
And if you
we're
want to
like,
know about any of those people, they've been on the pod, which is also super cool. But yeah, the friends completely made this happen. Also, let me just do a PSA right now. I live with Rob. The guy gets more phone calls than anyone I've ever seen. He's like a back in the day when phones were invented, like the operators, like connecting, like you're literally a phone operator in there. Why do people flood your ears all day long?
I don't know. I'm just King Flood over here.
They're just like, whose time am I going to waste? Like, I got 15 minutes to kill.
I'm a primo target for
Like target number one. I've never seen anything like it. Because you know why?
Why?
You always answer.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I do.
And you always lend an ear.
Yeah. So maybe I gotta stop lending ears and stop answering. Go
Anyway.
off the grid. Yes. For anyone trying to get a hold of me for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be fully off the grid.
That's a lie. You'll answer everything. Okay, so but back to the event. So the song's launching this Thursday. That's Thursday the 13th. There's going to be a link in the show notes to pre-save it. It's a banger. Please follow that same link. Actually, if you pre-save the song from that link, or you just click that link in the show notes, it'll take you also to the event page. We got 100 people, I think, responded going already, which is awesome. So make sure you get your tickets because we have to cap it at $150. So they're only $10. They're going to come with 2 free drinks. One of Reed's Distillery, which you have to try his gin. It's nuts. And one of Tompkins's beer, which is made in Canada, really tasty beer. So you're going to get 2 of those with your $10 tickets. Nothing. We really made the tickets $10 just so...
We just wanted them cheap. We were just so we could do a couple fun things with it, but not for any money-making purposes.
Yeah, no, we're spending all the money on the venue and the drinks and making it fun, getting a projector and all that. But we didn't want to make it free because people also just click attending and don't show up. So we needed to have some sort of
hold you to it.
Yeah, but we'll have, so this is how the event's going to go. I do not have the timeline in front of me. I totally forget it, but I believe doors open at 8.
We're going to play the video at 9:15. 9?
Yeah,
sorry.
The doors close
open. Doors open at 8. Doors close at 9. The video is going to be played at 9:15.
Yeah.
The EP is going to be played at 9:30.
We'll talk about what an EP is as well. So,
for those of you that don't know, EP stands for extended play,
which is not at all what it really, the name isn't intuitive. It's really just a short album.
Yes, it's a short album, and it can be anywhere from 3 to 6 songs roughly in length. And for ours, we have 4 songs that are going to be on it, and we're going to be playing it at 9:30 at the event on Thursday. So this is going to be part 1. I don't know if we've spoken about this yet.
We did.
But yeah, this is going to be part 1. Part 2 is going to be released in the fall as well, and we got a bunch more songs that we're going to release.
So to summarize it's a 2-part EP. Each EP is going to have a single and a music video. So the single for this EP is called Mid-20s. We shot it at a buddy's house that was going to be demolished. So we brought in a whole film crew. We did graffiti in the basement, which you could actually see in the event page. We skated in the backyard. We emptied the pool. We did all this cool stuff with props and lighting. It's an awesome video. So that's going to come out at Reed's Distillery. The EP is going to be the remaining 3 songs. There are OG songs. So if you've seen us play live, you've seen us play songs like Gassed, and Famous. They're some of our most requested live songs.
And the other song, Charlie Brown. I think we've only done
We've never
once.
played Charlie Brown. We played it once live at Supermarket.
Live. Yeah.
It's hard to translate live, and when you hear it, you'll hear why. It's got a big stand-up bass in it, like an upright bass. So those songs, these are our OG songs. We wanted to make sure that they get out. But we have these other songs in the bank that are nasty. Like, they're so good.
I'm just like want to release them right now.
I know, but we can't. We got to be patient. So we're going to release a second part EP. There's going to be a song, I'm going to leak the name, called Shoelace. That's going to come out in the summer with a music video. And then the second part of the EP will come out in the fall. And by then we'll have 8 solid songs out, 2 music videos. And we're just going to fucking sell ourselves
to the devil.
To the devil. Get famous. So this party, we're going to preview the EP. You're going to see the music video. You're going to get these 2 free drinks, and we're just going to celebrate. We just wanted to thank kind of everyone that's supported us so far. And
especially the guys that we mentioned that have all been on the podcast, because they've been a huge help in putting all this together as well. So, yes, check out the show notes. If you're looking for tickets for the show, it's going to be, not even the show, but like the event, because it's going to be sick.
It's just going to be a party.
Plus I know there's a bunch of my friends, as like sort of Kilku friends that have been wanting. I've spoken to and been wanting to go check out the distillery and stuff. So like, if you're looking for a reason to go over there,
taste some good gin, try some good beer. And see just the work of a group of friends just trying to make a dream come alive. So all you jammers out there,
jammers. I'm trying to think. Is there? I don't think there's anything else you could really
podheads.
You podheads. That's kind of funny, but that's like
it could be for any pod.
For any pod, yeah.
Whatever. Anyway,
I like jammers.
This party is launching our official public release of Being Rockstars. So far, it's been behind scenes. We've played a few shows, melted a couple faces, but we haven't had anything out there. That's why we launched the Instagram account at Johnny Famous. If you want to give that a follow,
as well. Wednesday next week,
the 12th.
The 12th, we're going to be playing at Toronto.
Sorry, the 19th. I'm an idiot.
Yes, the 19th. Tomorrow is the 12th.
Yep. What up, dude?
So
big dates guy. 12th, see you there?
Big dates guy. So next Wednesday, the 19th, not the 12th, we're going to be playing at Toronto as well from 6 to 8. That's the Adelaide location.
And it's just Robbie and I.
We always have a good time.
We have a good
couple
time.
Of friends out. We have dinner.
Sing some sweet shalalas acoustically.
Hang out. And I mean, what could possibly go wrong with
kiss a couple hands?
Toronto food.
Toronto's so good.
It's so good.
Except they won't cut your pizza. So bring your own pizza cutter. So that's it. That's
Travis actually will be selling pizza rollers.
John Famous branded.
John Famous branded from 4 to 6 out front of Toronto before our set starts. So
yeah. So if you want to buy pizza rollers 4 to 6, you want to watch us play music, that's gonna be 6 to 8. And then if you want to see me with no shirt on, that's 8 onwards every night at 18 Raglan where we live.
You gotta take them out for dinner first.
Yeah, not even though. Okay, so that's enough. Okay, we promoted ourselves enough.
Okay,
we fired it up. We're 18 minutes into a podcast, and we've just done self-promotion this whole time.
That's perfect.
Let's shoot the shit, dude.
I feel like we don't do enough of it sometimes.
You're right, we don't.
You know what? Let's get a little bit more.
Let's do more.
This podcast is also brought to you by
Wrist and Rye.
Wrist and Rye, Canadian handmade, Toronto handmade jewelry.
Probably made 10 minutes from your mama's house.
Silver. If you got a boyfriend, you got a dad, you got a grandpa, you got a brother, you got a brother-in-law, anyone, and it's not even just for men, you got any. If you know
anyone living with a wrist that's naked right now, we call it naked wrist syndrome.
Yes, then
cure it.
They deserve to be spiced up a little, and
Spicy P.
Wrist and Rye can provide that for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes.
There's a promo code in the show notes. Speaking of Spicy P, though, how about that fucking Raps game?
Who is Pete?
Spicy P?
Oh.
Pascal Siakam.
I thought you said Pete.
No, Spicy P.
Spicy Pete. Is that his nickname?
I think so.
Or did you just coin that?
No, I definitely didn't coin that. I
Okay.
don't watch any basketball.
Yo, how about Spicy P last night?
No, okay. I don't even know. Okay, I watched the last half. Did you see the video of Durant's?
Yes, the slow motion video
Calf
of
snapping?
his Achilles just like shooting back. Whoa.
Dude, the grossest video watching his Achilles tendon snap in slow motion. Why do they have a slow motion shot? Yo, there was a
They
guy.
got cameras. You can't get away with anything.
There was a
on the
guy
court.
probably at that only filming his calf all night because of how like high profile he is and how he had a calf strain. There's a guy all night with a slow-mo camera filming
Imagine
calves.
That? Imagine that you show up to your shift and you're tasked with the duty of filming KD's calves for the night.
Just tracking his calf all night because they had a perfect angle.
Yeah.
Like it was even floor level, straight across to his calf.
Yeah.
Of it snapping.
I don't know. I feel like they just got so many cameras firing at those games, and like, it shows you have to be like if you're any kind of professional sports player, you have to be so careful these days with
But they're
anything you
not,
say,
which
like
is
any of
weird.
your actions. It's like, I mean,
They get caught all the time.
Yeah, I guess just the intensity of the game and what happens, and it you sort of forget about it, but like, there's people watching every single thing.
There's 20,000 people in a stadium.
Yeah.
And maybe 50 fucking cameras. Maybe 50, maybe like a few thousand when you count the
For phones.
Phones.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, you're not going to get away with a thing. Just like assume that everything you're doing is being watched. But anyway, the game was a bit tough. 1 point loss.
That's crazy. So listen to this. I don't think I told you this, but
No. I don't know what you're about to say, so I don't know. Let me read your mind.
Okay. Yes. Dig in. What am I gonna say?
You're going to say, I don't know if you know this, but you had a dream last night where you hooked up with Kawhi Leonard.
Whoa.
Did I get it?
How'd you know?
I read your mind, my dude.
I'm talking missionary. I'm talking missionary. No. No, you sick fuck.
But yeah, dude. Sorry. What's up? Tell me what I don't know.
So last night watching the game, we're over at we're downtown at Hunter's place, and the game cut out with like 30 seconds left. Like,
Was he streaming it?
No, off his box, like Bell 5.
Oh shit!
It cut out with 30 seconds left. So we're like, what the hell? And then we're watching the updates on the score on our phones because like we fully couldn't get service to watch the stream. So anyways, I found out 106 and 105. Like,
Oh, you didn't get to see the last 30 seconds?
I didn't even see like what
Okay,
happened.
Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's the guy? Kawhi, the guy you hooked up with last night. Kawhi was, when they were down a few points, he started going ham. He drained 2 threes in a row.
I saw this.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
he was on fire.
I don't know when this happened, but he was on fire. He was doing all the defense, and Nick Nurse, I think is his name.
Yeah, the coach.
Called a timeout. Right in the middle of hot Kawhi.
Mm-hmm. I saw this.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking that to myself. I'm like, why is there a timeout right now? Kawhi's sitting on the bench. This guy is blazing right now.
My 2 cents. And let me put this in perspective. My first full basketball game I've watched has been in this playoffs.
Yeah.
I hate watching the sport. Couldn't think of a bigger waste of time. But now that they're winning, obviously it's cool to see a Toronto team do well. So
Yeah.
I watch them. Played basketball one summer
Yeah.
in a rec league.
Yeah.
I'm a super athlete. You know that.
Yeah.
Scored 1 point. I mean, not even 2.
1 point. So what? You got like a
Foul.
free throw?
Yeah. I didn't score a regulation bucket
Wait, are we talking this is like one game or this is like the whole season?
the whole summer season. It was,
You kidding me?
I was in a very good basketball league.
That's fucked up.
They didn't, because they stopped playing me. I stopped showing up to games because it's like, guys, I'm bad. They're like, we just need a big man in the paint. I don't even know what that means. I didn't even, so I didn't know a single basketball rule, not one.
Yeah.
I didn't know, I would get fouls all the time. I didn't know about time limits, double dribble, anyway. Watching the game last night, I see that timeout called, and just as a sports guy in general, I'm like, that's a bad idea. I just said it to myself. I was like, why would you stop a player that's literally on a fucking streak? You have timeouts left. Let him miss a shot and then call a timeout. You know?
Yeah.
Don't call him when he's hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what you missed. So it's the end of the game. They have last possession. The Raptors are, I think it was 2 points down. I can't really remember. But anyway, they didn't have to foul. There was 30 seconds left on the clock. Golden State had the ball, and I think the Raptors were 2 points down. Or 1 point down. It was 1 point down. This was 106-105.
Yeah.
With 30 seconds left, so they don't need to foul. Golden State goes into Toronto's end, and at 15 seconds left, gets an offensive foul. So the ball is now in the they couldn't have gotten a bigger gift.
Yeah.
15 seconds left, and the Raptors get the ball in our end. They cross a line, and instead of calling a timeout and setting a play,
Yeah.
they just fumble the ball up and do an awful, they just let them go on the fly. I'm thinking, that's when you call a fucking timeout.
Yeah.
Set one play, literally get the defense all jumbled up, throw the ball in, have Kawhi drive the hoop. You could have won the game with a foul last night. You could have won the game with a 2-pointer, the whole championship, and you just let them dance in there. Like, don't watch basketball. And if someone knows why he did that, fucking message me. But that looked dumb to me.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It seemed like that was kind of the story of the last few moments of the game, where I mean they were kind of shooting for threes when they shouldn't have been. Plus, also, I don't know. I'm thinking that like going for the twos, keeping it easy, getting to the net would have been more of the safe play to like stick with them instead of losing possessions over 3-pointers.
I just picture all basketball players wanting to have that like game-winning shot.
Yeah.
And it just costs them the game. I don't know.
Yo, I was reading about Kawhi.
He's a legend. Not him. I'm talking about the others.
Who? Sorry?
Kawhi.
Yeah, Kawhi. Yes. Legend.
The guy you hooked up with. Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah.
What were you reading? That he drove a 20-year-old car?
No, just that his hands are almost as big as Shaq's hands, even though Shaq is like fucking Jack and the Beanstalk big.
His hands look like the spiders from like Harry Potter.
They're massive. He said he has trouble shooting sometimes because they're so big.
What? Trouble shooting? Like what do you mean? Like they wrap around the front?
I don't know.
They block himself?
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I'll
he has trouble
I'll have to
texting?
ask him next time we hook up.
Yeah, next time you have a dream about him, like ask him those questions. I know. I read an article today that like in 2016 he was a multimillionaire. Like had been playing for years. He made $16 million that year.
Yeah.
And he was still driving his 20-year-old Chevy Tahoe.
No way.
Yeah.
The guy's so low key.
So low key.
Yeah.
And that's why he's cold as ice. But when he gets fired up and he's draining threes, don't call a fucking timeout.
I didn't understand that either.
Anyway, that's enough of that because
Yeah.
there's 2 games left. I don't care where they win. I just want them to win. I hate how cocky Curry is. I fucking hate it.
Do you think he's cocky in the games?
Dude, he's not cocky during the games. He's cocky after the games. Or Klay Thompson has... I feel like Klay Thompson... Again, don't watch any basketball, so I have no idea what happened all season long.
Yeah.
From the few games I've watched them versus Golden State, this is what I see from the Splash Bros.
Okay.
I see Klay Thompson draining every shot he takes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I see Curry missing 70% of his free throws or of his 3-pointers
Points.
and just drawing fouls and flopping around like he's an actor. That's what he does. He goes in the game and draws fouls.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see it because all I've seen is highlights of Curry draining threes.
He never goes to the net.
The odd time.
Yeah.
All I've seen is highlights of Curry draining threes. All playoffs this round, all I've seen is Klay Thompson drain threes.
Yeah.
And Curry miss threes and draw fouls.
Klay Thompson's been lights out.
Dude, the guy, I've seen him. I don't think I've seen him miss.
Like, it's so clutch. It's crazy.
But so when he's cocky, it's like, all right, whatever. I don't know. When I see Curry being cocky, I'm like, yo, at least in this series,
Yeah.
you're missing 70% of your shots. Fuck yourself. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Which
Get
is
that garbage out of
But
here.
I'd also hate Drake if I was from any other place because Drake's like on the sidelines chirping,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, "Yo,
But every other city,
you ain't no athlete."
where there's a basketball team, there's also a rapper who reps that team just as hard too.
True,
You'd be
true,
dealing
true,
with
true.
it in any city that you go to.
Yeah, but
But you haven't seen it in Golden State. Like who in Golden State is
nobody
like?
gives a fuck there.
Yeah.
They've won so many championships.
Yeah,
No one gives a fuck.
yeah.
Where are they in Oakland? What is it? Where they're
Oakland, I think.
not even like.
I don't know, somewhere in California.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that because fuck. fuck.
Basketball. I mean,
We know nothing about it.
Two non-basketball guys talking about basketball.
I'll tell you something we do know a lot about.
What? How to have fun?
How to have fucking
How to
fun.
ride?
Midweek. I'm talking take Thursday off.
I'm talking take Friday off.
Talking Saturday, Sunday off.
Weekend. I'm
Full
talking
weekend.
surf. I'm talking rides.
We went to Wonderland on Thursday as grown adult men. And fuck was it fun.
Wait, let's just talk about last year quickly. So last summer, we're going up to Eli's cottage. He's got a place on Rosso in Muskoka. It's beautiful, super fun. And we're driving up there like on a Friday night or something. And this must have been in the fall actually, because
It was the fall.
because Wonderland was closed at that time. But we were dealing with some hectic traffic, trying to go north. And we see Wonderland in the distance, and we just kind of like turn to each other in the car and lock eyes for a second, and we just kind of telepathically
Yeah.
communicate. Like
It was like
it was like
we going to Wonderland?
yeah.
And you looked at me and you're like, are we going to Wonderland?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it kind of looks like we're going to Wonderland.
Yeah.
And then we both just nodded our heads and we didn't say a word. And I just pulled off the highway.
Yeah. Exactly how it went down. And we pull into Wonderland, and the lot's empty, and we're like, fuck yeah, no one's here.
Yeah, they close early in the fall.
Yeah. So anyways, Wonderland was closed, and we've been itching to go ever since last fall. So we pre-planned this weekend.
And they have a new
knowing that
ride
we were going
this
to
summer that they
Eli's.
didn't have last year.
They had a fucking dope ride this summer.
Well, first of all, this is what we do. We pull in, we bring our roommate Kev. Kev's a legend. He's a do everything guy.
Kev is such a legend. Quick shout out to like total yes man.
Total
And
yes
just
man.
So down.
He's
for
like,
everything.
Wonderland Thursday off, done. So we pull into Wonderland. We didn't buy the fast passes because our original plan was like, oh, we go during the day Thursday. People are working. People are in school. It's not going to be busy. We pull up. I'm talking field trips. I'm talking school buses full of kids. I'm talking church retreats. I'm talking
I'm talking
work
full
business trips. I'm talking entire offices. I'm talking.
Everyone and their mothers was there. Because you know what? Also, it was a super nice day, which we haven't had in a while. And I
It
mean,
was
no one
slammed.
can really plan for that, but it was fucking slammed.
So we go to the first ride. Haven't ridden a roller coaster in maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
We obviously go for Leviathan,
Yeah.
which is their biggest coaster,
Old Faithful.
biggest and fastest. And we sit in the back because that's the one that shit whips you the hardest. And coming off no rides for a few years, getting on that thing fresh, sitting in the back.
Oh.
I've never had. I blacked out on the first drop. I
Yeah.
lost my vision.
Yeah.
It shit whipped us so hard. The thrill was so intense. I
It was
lost my
intense.
vision.
And we waited in that line for half an hour. Trav actually timed it on his phone.
I timed it.
Because he's like, how
'Cause
long
I'm
is
a
this going to
weirdo.
take? And, based off of that, we'll determine whether we get fast passes or not. So we ride this ride. We get shredded. Super thrill. It's great. And immediately once we hop off, we were looking for the fast pass. The fast pass kiosk.
It's
because
worth
it
it.
took like half an hour. So we went and got the fast passes. Fast passes were like,
So they're $75.
yeah, they were more than the actual
They're
tickets.
more than the actual ticket, and it doesn't come with a ticket. It's like $55 for a ticket, $75 for a fast pass, separate.
Yeah, I mean, they should think about combining, like making some sort of combo deal. But anyways, I'll leave that to the people at Wonderland to deal with. And we got the fast passes.
Oh
We
man,
rode the shit out of every ride in that place.
They should change it to flex passes because we literally fucking triple dabbed our way into every lineup. We're like, oh, is this a line over here? No shit. Dab, sliding through a side entrance, hopped on rides, and some rides you walk on.
Yeah.
Even the big ones.
Walk-ons. I mean, because there's different types of flex passes.
You want to feel good? Go to Canada's Wonderland, get a fast pass, and literally walk past everyone like you're the king of Wonderland.
My favorite quote that you said to me that day was like, people who say money can't buy happiness have obviously never bought a fast pass at Wonderland.
Like,
so good.
Like when we were leaving the first ride and we didn't have fast passes versus when we were walking to the next ride with fast passes.
Yeah.
Night and day.
Fucking night and day.
I had a pep in my step. Anyone I saw with a fast pass, you give like a Jeep wave to, and you're like, another wealthy man. Splurging for the lady I see. There's like a guy and a girl with fast passes. It feels like Booth and Bottles at a club. It feels like Booth and Bottles. And when you think about it, you buy a bottle at a club, $200-$300.
Yeah.
That's, instead of doing that, take your girl to Wonderland with fast passes. Then
and
you'll
it's
know
half
what,
the price.
and you'll know what being a real baller feels like. Because a Booth and Bottles, you're gonna get girls just gonna take advantage of you like that. They go there every week, and there's some new schmuck like you there with a bottle that they're gonna drink from.
Yeah.
Wonderland Fast Pass, unique. Treat them. That's a real baller.
Unique New York.
The new ride is a vertical drop ride. I googled it. It's the tallest, longest, fastest drop roller coaster in the world, and we have it at Canada's Wonderland.
It's sick. It's called the Yukon Striker, and obviously we rode it a million times because
we were at 5 times.
Yeah, because we had the fast passes going, and we just kind of hopped around between Leviathan, Yukon Striker, Behemoth. Behemoth is old news now.
Why'd they even build?
Well, that was the big attraction before they had these other.
I know,
two.
but then why'd they build Leviathan, which is just a bigger Behemoth? They should destroy Behemoth and build something like they have a Six Flags, like the Hulk, or like something fucked that just like, or the Dragster one that shoots you at 200 miles an hour and then you go straight up in the air around a loop. Fuck me up, dude.
I was like a little twisted by the time we left Canada's Wonderland that day.
Well, let's put it in perspective. We maybe rode 30 roller coasters.
Yeah.
In an afternoon with very little sun protection, no water.
Yeah.
30 hardcore coasters.
Yeah.
I just like had a headache.
I know. I was kind of ready to just call it by the time the park closed. You know what I would watch is how they build roller coasters, or like what goes into sort of like the testing and like building roller coasters and like the actual kind of engineering behind it. I think that'd be cool to see. You know, like how they figure out like how far they can push it.
There's Discovery shows on it. You can waste 42 minutes on YouTube while watching that stuff.
I think I might just do that.
But the thing about roller coasters, diminishing returns. Every roller coaster you ride, it's like a microcosm of a drug addiction in an afternoon.
It's so true.
Because every ride you ride gets a little bit less thrilling until the last ride of the day, back row Leviathan, just like we started with. I couldn't feel a thing.
I felt like I was going down like the bunny hill.
Dude, going over the first drop was less thrilling than when I stand up too fast.
Seriously, it became old news so quick.
Diminishing returns. But the new ride, yeah. So what a drop coaster is it's a 90-degree drop, which means completely vertical, and they hold you at the top. So it's not like a normal roller coaster where you just roll over the first drop. They actually lock you at the top of the 90-degree drop. So you're literally hanging, looking straight down. It goes down under a tunnel, underground, underwater. It's actually pretty dope. Mm-hmm. Shoots you up into a big loop. Mm-hmm. Few twisties, another couple drops. And Bob's your uncle. You are Bob.
I am Bob.
So yeah,
and
good rip.
That was our Thursday at Wonderland, and it was super fun. Afterwards, we hopped in the car and we drove up to Eli's place for the weekend, and lovely weekend.
Scorcher.
I'm talking
probably the nicest weekend
yes.
of the year.
Yeah, definitely up there. I mean, the lake still hadn't warmed up.
The lake was an ice bath.
Yeah, it's still a little cold and shocking, but the weather was a treat. So
It was kind of weird. Like it was 29 degrees one of the days. It was 26 degrees the other 2 days.
It was hot, yeah.
And the water was like ice bath temperature. So it kind of felt like it was a massive contrast, which I don't know if which was better or worse.
Yeah, I mean, because in the summer when you have those scorcher days, you want to hop in the lake and like cool off, and it's nice, and you kind of hang in there for a bit. But it was like it cools you off, and you're like, okay, how do I get out of here quick enough?
Yeah, it does. It cools you off. It freezes you. It feels like you're an athlete getting to those ice baths at the end of a game.
It didn't stop us from surfing the entire time.
You know, the benefit is I had very little inflammation from all the activities we were doing because
That's
all the
true,
ice baths we were taking.
It probably helped me out. I got fucking torqued.
You got slammed on the wakeboard.
Slammed on this wakeboard fall.
Can I tell you? Okay, so Robbie's a sick wakeboarder. Probably the coolest thing he does. Hands down. Respect. Hits big airs. Looks rad. Eli is the boat driver. He's the boat owner. It's his cottage. He's gotten really good at boating in the 2 years he's been going up, but there's still a couple things that can be tweaked. One is when you have a wakeboarder behind you, do not turn in the middle of a jump. You know, like if they're in the middle of a jump, keep that thing straight. Like they're already flying through the air at 20 miles an hour. Don't turn.
Yeah.
He literally turned. I saw you get pulled forward and your nose hit. And it was like those cartoon level shit whips where you hit the water and then hooked so fast you just went like you know when Peter Griffin slams in a cartoon and it's like comically funny.
Yeah,
you shit whip that hard.
Yeah, I haven't slammed like that in years. and I was like, I knew right away. I was like there's no way I was off axis that much. Like just off. It was like a straight air. I wasn't doing anything fancy. I was like, there's no way I was off axis that much and just ate shit like that. Like there had to be a little bit.
But good thing
of another.
Well, you get in the boat and you're like, oh. We're like, dude, what happened? He's like, you're like, I have a feeling that like, did you turn in the middle of that? And Eli's like, no. And I'm looking at you and I'm just nodding my head. Yes. I'm like, you're looking at me and I'm like, yes, he did.
I knew it.
But the thing is, you ate shit into an ice bath.
Yeah.
So you might well just float it in there for 2.5 minutes. I remember distinctly twisting my ankle while surfing.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt after the next 2 surf sessions because my ankle was just consistently in an ice bath.
It's just numb. And you know what? Speaking about that, like, I'm actually recovered pretty quick. My neck was a little stiff on what was it, Sunday? Or Sunday or Monday? I don't know.
You spent all of Sunday in the water again, getting an ice bath?
Yeah. Yeah. Killer weekend, though.
Killer weekend. And then we worked a big day yesterday. Holy fuck. But that's not even interesting to talk about. We had to drive right from up north to Waterloo. So
we got home in an hour. We had to drive to Waterloo.
So
to
basically,
there for the night. Basically
4 hours of driving to stay at a small hotel with 2 other people in Waterloo to get up at 6 a.m. the next morning. We worked a 14-hour day in Waterloo, drove back just for the second half of the Raptors there. I think that's what's the last thing we got to talk about here? Oh, the Juul experiment.
Oh yeah, you've kind of fallen off of that.
Okay, way back when I first bought a Juul, I'm a bit of a narc. I Google things, I'm worried about my health and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I've never really had a problem with addiction before. Like even if I'd have the odd cigarette, weed, like even coffee, like I could just give up anything. I've never really been, like just not an addictive personality. If I know it's bad for me, I have no problem giving it up. The Juul came along and I was excited because all the shit I was reading about the Juul was that it wasn't bad for you. Mm-hmm. You remember reading all that shit?
For sure. Well, I remember you reading all that shit and then
regurgitating
regurgitating the information to me. So.
You don't need to research anything, when you got me around.
No.
So I researched the Juul.
I'll just get you addicted to stuff and then
you didn't figure out.
Yeah.
So this is what I saw initially on Juul. One, that Juul was the leading electronic cigarette. And because of that, like they have the most money and like the kind of like the cleanest vape juice and all this stuff. And they were saying that nicotine itself isn't listed as a carcinogen. Like it's
Okay.
not bad for you.
Okay.
They're saying it's not listed as a carcinogen. It's like caffeine. In fact, it's a nootropic. If you know what that means, if you listen to Joe Rogan, he says words like that a lot. But it's actually a cognitive enhancer, and it like temporarily reduces anxiety and stuff like that. So I'm reading all this stuff, and they're saying that the vape delivery method isn't actually really harmful. They're like, it's just water vapor with some salts. It's really not that hard on you. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, is this just like the coffee? Like people drink it every day and it's not bad for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, dope. Like I'm going to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing it. I realized it was pretty addictive. I was like doing it all day. And I was like, shit, I got to make some Juul rules. I got to make some rules for myself. Like, so I made this whole experiment. I even told people about it. I said it on the pod. I was like, okay, you got to set time limits when it's appropriate to Juul because it suppresses your appetite. You shouldn't be doing anything all day long. So I made my Juul rules. That worked for about 2 weeks. And then I completely became full-blown addicted to Juul.
Where's my next
like literally all day, every day for like the last 2 or 3 months, huffing on this thing and still struggling on whether it's good or bad for you because I wasn't feeling bad.
Yeah.
I was huffing all day. I had so much energy. I was so productive, buzzing, like literally like I felt sharp.
Yeah.
I had no anxiety. I just had a little bit of a suppressed appetite, but I was still eating. I was still working out. And I'm like, there's no negative effects to this.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm a superhuman. This is my like super juice.
Yeah.
And then recently I've started to feel the effects and I've started to self-diagnose that this ain't good for you.
Anything. Yeah. You know, it's safe to assume that anything that you get a little bit of buzz off of, or, I mean, outside of coffee.
No, because coffee, we limit ourselves well.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have 6 coffees, you're going to have the same ill effects.
Yeah, it's true. But anything you just abuse because you're like, you love the buzz of it, or, you know, it gives, I don't know, it gives you something that you just kind of feel like there's like an addiction.
Yeah.
In some sort of way. It's safe to assume that it's probably not good for you long term.
Well, I just think that anything not done in moderation is bad for you. Like anything's bad for you if you abuse it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that it's so addictive means it's so easy to abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it all day, anything will be awful for you. So like even in itself, if it's really not harmful, it's so addictive that if you just do it all the time, or if you just do it, you're going to want to do it all the time. And it'd be like if coffee was so addictive, you drank a coffee every hour.
It's like drinking. It's like you drink, you have your first like 3 or 4 drinks and you peak, you get that buzz that you're looking for
Keep
right
wanting
away.
more, yeah.
And then for the rest of the night, you just keep drinking more because you're trying to maintain that or even like get that same feeling again, but it doesn't really happen. And then you just feel like shit the next day.
Yeah.
You just black out. But it's really, or I mean, at least for me, it's like that first buzz and that first peak that you hit, that's always the best, right?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is, with the Juul. So I've realized now that doing it all day, every day, like first of all, kind of dries your throat out. Kind of even some flavors of the Juul have been known to give. So I started Googling it. Is basically what I'm saying. Some flavors of the Juul start to give people sores in their mouth, like canker sores.
Yeah.
A lot of coughing. A lot of like I was getting a little bit. No, I'm good. I got hockey later. No more gin. I was getting a little bit of like tightness in my abdomen region, and I'm like, this is not good for me. I also Googled nicotine a bit more, and apparently even though nicotine isn't listed as a carcinogen, it's been traced in recent studies to like some cell mutation.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of cell mutation?
So like cancer, I believe, is just like carcinogens are just things that cause cell mutation at a big enough degree that they can become mutated to the point where they don't die, which is cancer, like tumors and stuff like that. And they said that nicotine has been recently traced to cell mutation, like itself. So even though it's not listed as a carcinogen, maybe it's not in high enough levels, it's not necessarily great for you. and it's been traced in some light cases to pancreatic cancers and stuff like that. So I was just like, you know, with all these facts being said, I know I love the buzz of it, but I probably it's got to change from like a coffee, which is a productivity tool, to a party thing like booze. Like it can be 0% productivity related.
Well, you know what you can do is just get rid of your Juul and then
you can only do it when you party. I'm going to throw it out. Yeah.
And then rely on everyone else to just have a stick around sometimes when you party or whatever.
Because the reason why I like it and I don't want to get rid of it entirely is because if you're drunk, you're going to have a cigarette. Even if you're not a smoker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone's going to be having it. You're going to be drunk and like, you're just going to be like, yeah, fuck it. Like, whatever. It's just a cigarette. I don't want to ever do that. Cigarettes look disgusting. I'd rather be drunk and take some really not that bad for you vapor on weekends, and like that's about it. So I think I'm going to get rid of mine, cut it cold turkey all week, and I'll report it on how hard it is to quit Juul when you're thoroughly addicted.
Okay.
And I think that'll be a good next... Like, how hard is it? Because fuck it, I could do anything. I quit drinking for a year. You don't think I can quit Juul? This little robot dick loser ass fucking USB stick? You think this little tiny ass? I didn't do it all episode. What's up?
What's up? Because you don't have it around. It's not. You're not thinking.
Just
about
mental
it.
fortitude.
You're in control.
I'm in total control.
You don't need no robot dick.
I've gone like a week before without doing it, or like 4 days. But because you don't think it's bad for you, you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna. Yeah. Oh, it's been a few days. Like I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
But no, like now I'm starting to feel like I want to do it in the morning. I did it all weekend, all week last week, all day yesterday, and I'm like, yo, I'm in it. I'm fucking in one right now with this, and it's just not a good look having anything control your life.
So we'll report back next episode how the Juul quitting is going.
Crippling nicotine addiction, how hard it is to quit for the strong-minded.
And you know what? I think that's a good topic to end the episode on. Balance. You know?
It's all about balance.
Life's all about balance. And do you got anything else for chat about?
If anyone's still listening, because we found out last episode.
No one really tunes into the last.
Well, at least those boys don't. I know we have a lot of people that do by the numbers, but if anyone's still listening, if you got a better name for Too Many Jams fans than Jammers, let us know. Or Podheads.
And I kind of like Jammers. And you know what? We'll have a true jammer on.
We'll have the real jammer.
The real jammer on
the
at
slang
some point
master.
once he gets back from his travels. And on that note, we'll see you next
Tuesday.
Fortune and fame, I'd even cut my hair and change my name. Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the come cheap. Well, I'll stay skinny cause we just won't eat. And we'll hang out in the coolest bars and the VIP with the movie stars. Every good gold digger's gonna wind up there. Every playboy bunny with a bleached blonde hair. And well, hey, I wanna be a rock star. Hey, I wanna be a rock star.